What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. So the trade that we caught yesterday ended up being, well, kind of correct in the sense that, well, we did not get ACIs here, which means that the pump was still valid. And guess where the pump began? It started, you found the bottom at 2 p.m. and then starting from 3 p.m., you started heading towards the upside. Exactly the move that I've been calling for basically 3 weeks at this point. There is a lot of power in understanding what is going to be the news event that is coming next month, so that you can almost kind of get a monthly outlook on what price is likely to do over the next 30 days. That's exactly what I've done there. So now that that news event is in, we can reasonably predict that the next month is going to be pretty bullish for Bitcoin, in the sense that now that the interest rate for the United States dollar has started going down, or rather this sets the right market conditions over the course of the next 30 days for price to actually go up. And so the setup for today is also going to be pretty straightforward. Like if you take a look at Bitcoin right now, that is your CSD right there that has just happened on the 1 hourly chart. Obviously the daily chart is going to be closing bullish. Oh, actually surprisingly it's closed bearish, but still, like overall the market conditions are pretty bullish. And so that's what we're going to take advantage of. So that is the previous high right here. Now that we've retraced back into here, we have retraced back into some kind of bullish fair gap as well. And so that is the key level on the on the 1 hourly chart that we're paying attention to, as well as this bullish order block right here. And so now we go into the lower time frames and we're going to get a pretty clear idea on what to do. So do we have news later? And it seems like we do. Exactly at 8:30 a.m. we're going to have unemployment claims. And so the best trading time window for today is going to be between the hour before news and the hour after news at 7:30 to 8:30. As of the time that I'm recording this video, it is about 6:30. So within the next hour, what you're going to want to look for is for price to actually break above this level right here, and you flip it into a potential bullish order block on the 5-minute chart. And that's going to be a pretty straightforward trade for today. Now, just keep in mind that there is a potential for today to just be pretty low volatility, in the sense that yesterday we had a pretty volatile day, and the markets always move from periods of high volatility to low volatility. It's and vice versa. It's why you always hear a very famous saying that, the longer the range, the bigger the move that's going to come out of the range. That is also a factor of markets spending time from low volatility and then leading to high volatility. And so hopefully that gives you a pretty clear idea of what to expect for Bitcoin. Let me just pull up some kill zones so that we can understand where we stand in terms of the Asia chart. And in terms of the Asia, you can see that the Asia high or low has not yet been taken out. So this is going to be setup number 1, where we retrace into the fair value gap, and then right around the news trading window, we get a continuation of bullish order flow, and then price continues to go up. As usual, you're going to target 2R for this trade. You're not going to be looking for, or at the very least, you're not going to be looking to be too greedy, and that is going to be setup number 1. Then there is also a likelihood that all of these relatively equal lows here are going to be swept prior to the New York session, or rather prior to the news. And again, we have a fair value gap, an order block right here on the 1 hourly chart, which is also going to be a valid area. Just like how yesterday I did say that we are not going to know if the fair value gap is going to be the bottom or if the order block is going to be the bottom. What's important is just marking out both these levels right here, and then when price gets into them, we'll know exactly what to look for, exactly what time to look for them, and then we can act accordingly once those conditions are met. And so right now, this could be the bottom, this could also be the bottom, but either way, the setup is pretty clear. We're going to be looking for upside. Now, there's only one potential kind of like thing that could derail this, is that around the hour between 7:30 to 8:30, if you are already at 117,900, basically, like if you have swept the Asia high before news, then that's something you're definitely going to want to watch for, because there is a potential that this could just end up being manipulation, and then you're going to get distribution towards the downside for the remainder of the New York morning. That would be the only kind of invalidation that I could think of. Other than that, I think we're pretty good to go for today. Now, I do apologize yesterday that I did not manage to call any trades live, particularly because I am staying in Asia and the move happened at 2 p.m. New York. Also, I am currently sick at the moment, so I just kind of called an early night, knowing that it's pretty impossible that I would be catching the trade anyways. But today I will try to hop on Twitter during the news event itself, and I'll try to call a live trade. So feel free to follow me on Twitter at _theartofcrypto if you would be interested. But otherwise, so far, the weekly outlook has kind of already played out. Now let's take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum had a very bullish close, which is really great. So the call for yesterday on Ethereum was actually, ended up getting invalidated. And that's why yesterday I told you guys to focus on Bitcoin for the higher probability move compared to Ethereum, Because as you can see right here, like, you just got like this liquidity swap right here, but then now you've pumped. Now that's a really positive sign though, because now this has become a strong low, which means that this is unlikely to get revisited in the near future. Besides that, the fact that you have closed above this level right here marks this as what is known as a broken base. Broken base is one of the highest probability reversal kind of like setups out there, which is a liquidity sweep followed by an immediate change in state of delivery or some kind of a break in structure. So in the event that we retrace back into this level right here, starting at 45.45 or like 45.43-ish, this is going to be a level that you can take advantage of to go for a long. Taking a look at the Asia chart, you can see that the Asia low has already been swept out, and right now New York seems to be going for kind of like a three drives pattern, but towards the downside. So in the event that you come down to this area right here, this would be kind of like three drives down and then an aggressive retracement. Just understand that in terms of the higher time frame, you are looking very bullish, and because we got a rate cut yesterday, the alt season is very likely to continue throughout the rest of the year. So just understand that in terms of the higher time frame, you are still incredibly bullish and you continue to trade things bullish until proven otherwise. Lastly, we take a look at Sol, and we're going to talk about BNB as well, because my God, who would have thought? Like, I've been one of the biggest believers of BNB since 2021, and to see BNB one day hit $1,000, what a day. And it's only a matter of time, by the way, until Solana does the same as well. I'm not saying Solana is going to go to $1,000, but I don't think a 500 Solana is going to be completely out of this world, at least for this bull market. But anyways, weekly, you're still looking good. Daily, you are also looking fantastic, even though you've swept out this previous target right here. The fact that you have had a candle close above these two down candles right here means that when you retrace into here, this is going to act as support, which means if you're a swing trader or if you're some kind of short-term trader, look for this level at around 242 to just basically this entire block here is going to act as potential support. In terms of the 1 hourly, you have also gotten a CISD 2-day, like just now, within at 4 a.m. And so now this becomes a bullish order block that you can potentially take advantage of for the price to go higher today. But let's take a look at how lower time frame price action is shaping up, and boom, right? Asia has been swept out. You have a really strong reaction to the upside. And right now, Solana is probably looking the best. Like, if you want to take a long right now, this is probably a good area to do so. Like, taking an entry here, placing a stop loss underneath here, and targeting for 2R would make a lot of sense. However, if you're going to pick a trade, just pick the one that makes the most sense. There is absolutely zero reason why you want to be opening multiple trades at the same time on crypto pairs, because they're essentially the same chart. If Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down, and you're just going to end up losing multiple times in a row if you end up opening multiple trades in a same period of time. But anyways, taking a look at the 1 hourly chart, again, that is your bullish order block, and potentially have this bullish feather gap right here with a weak low right below. So weak low that is unlikely to get revisited is the exact same setup that we used yesterday to predict that Bitcoin was going to do a dump first before New York pump. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty straightforward setup. This is not a strong low. Again, strong low, you do not expect it to be revisited. In this case, Solana does have multiple strong weak lows here, but yeah, another setup is if you do this and you get 5-minute change in state of delivery, you are going to go towards the upside. Lastly, let's take a look at BNB. By the way, BNB has been one of the strongest charts out there, and I expect this trend to continue. However, just keep in mind that $1,000 tends to be a very big psychological number, and I wouldn't be surprised if you start going for a couple of weeks of retracement, maybe even just a couple of days of retracement. Just as you've seen right here, once price actually hit $900 for the first time, you went through a period of a couple of weeks of retracement, which is very normal for a coin that has performed this well. And so right now, you're going to retrace back into this level right here, which is going to be the first kind of level of support. Again, this is a weak low, so I wouldn't even be surprised to see price actually retrace further. But yeah, with BNB, I wouldn't recommend going long right now. But if we get a retracement, basically a buy the dip opportunity, then that's going to be when we start getting interested in BNB. Basically, amongst the charts that we've looked at so far, BNB seems to be the least interesting. And by the way, if you have been enjoying these videos and enjoy the way that I look at trading, and if you would like my help one-on-one to set up the exact trading system that I'm using to basically live a life of just complete freedom, feel free to click the first link in the description box down below, and we'll see how we can help. But otherwise, see you in tomorrow's video, and I'm going to go get some rest. My God, I'm feeling so terrible. Bye-bye.